Tacoma Rhodes Medical Arts Building, built to house about 150 doctors in offices. That was its main purpose. The building was built during the Depression era in the Art Deco style. And they always designed it to be a landmark, as it has its step-backed facade and that tower kind of offset from the base. So it was always meant to be kind of an icon of the city. Art Deco is a very important time in architectural history. We have some very famous buildings that come out of that movement, and it's something that is worth being preserved for future generations to see. There's a lot of craft that goes into Art Deco, not just so much what we see on the outside of this building, but if you were to go in the lobby, which is open to the public, so anybody can, you would see all of the Art Deco styling of the chandeliers and elevator doors and floors and ceilings. The level of detail, the reference to organic forms and organic shapes, but doing it in a geometric way. Designed by John Graham, and did a lot of design around the area. The Seattle Stock Exchange building is kind of like the sister building to our building, has a lot of similar detailing. As with any historic structure, if you're maintaining it, you have to do it in such a way to keep it true to what it was when it was created. And that means you have to do certain procedures and certain processes that take more time. They cost more money because you have to do things in a certain way. The building was purchased by the city in '77, but in the '60s, somebody thought the great idea of cleaning it was to sandblast the building. When you sandblast a concrete stone, like what our building has, it should become very porous. What happens is that porous nature then absorbs everything. So it absorbs little pockets of water. Now we have organic growth on the building. That's why you see this black kind of staining, the Gotham look that people talk about. That's because of organic growth that's in all those little pores. The other thing that you lose is you lose your water protective layer. The concrete panels that are on the building are also reinforced. They have rebar inside them. Now, we've learned more about construction as time has gone on, and so we embed those rebars deeper than what they did on this building if we were to do this now. And some of those rebars are within like an 1/8 inch or so of the surface. So if you take a surface and you make it more porous and water gets into it, then water gets over to the rebar and the rebar begins to rust and corrode, which causes the facade stone to crack or spall. The city has spent a lot of money doing studies and anchoring the facade and putting in helical anchors to make sure that everything stays where it's supposed to stay. But now we're going to be working on fixing it. So we'll be replacing some stones and treating the rebar that is exposed because of this problem. We do use a power washer, but it is a little bit more complicated than just power washing. So another thing we have to keep in mind is that all the stuff that's on the building, if we just wash it off, where's it going? Well, it's going to go to the sound. We don't want that because it has years of atmospheric soiling and organic growth, stuff that we don't want in the sound. What we do, what the city actually requires, is that when you wash the building, we collect all that water. So we collect all the water and then we test it for pH balance. So we make sure it's neutralized, and then we don't let any of the water discharge to the stormwater system of the city. It all gets put into the city sewer, where it gets treated further before it would ever be released anywhere. We know that this is an expensive project, and it's something that we can't do all at once, so we're phasing it in. We've got about a $4 million fund that we're using to tackle a small portion of what we anticipate will be a $20 million project. This first phase will tell us a lot. One of these things that we're doing with this project is seeing kind of what level is the building really at? How much stone do we have to replace? How much in-depth cleaning can we do before we get to a replacement process? So the first phase, you're going to see cleaning. That's going to be one of the major things. So hopefully we'll be able to remove the Gotham look of the building. So you will see it be a consistent color all the way to the top. The building will remain open to the public and to the staff that work there, but you'll see some pedestrian protection that will go up so that everybody's safe when they're walking the sidewalk. You'll see swing stages. Now these are kind of like scaffolding, if you will, but they're on a pulley system, so they'll be going up and down the building. And you'll see those move around the building over the course of the next year. We view historic preservation as important to the city. So what we're doing is we're acting on that belief. We're implementing this project so that we can preserve the building and keep the facade in as good a condition as we can. So if anyone is interested in the project and the preservation of the building, they can go to the city website, which is tacoma.gov, and then they can go to the city projects section of that website and search for the municipal building, and you'll find it. Come on down, see the building.